Hey, welcome back to the Brisbane Small Business Show. I'm Kevin Gammy, and I've got Steve and Cam here with me again today to talk more about three big rocks. We started talking about it last week. Just a quick reminder, guys, the three big rocks.
Pretty easy, Kevin, and hi everyone. Thanks for joining us. So the three big rocks we're talking about today are content marketing, which we covered last week, and then moving on today to sales strategies and also social media marketing. So if you'd like some information about those, stick around. We're going to duck into it straight away.
Fantastic. Just a quick recap of both of you. Now, Cam, tell us a little bit more about yourself, your background in 15 seconds or less.
Yeah, look, 15 seconds. I come from the real world of business. I was a successful and multi-award winning business owner. I had a couple of businesses on the fly. It then ended up being a consulting business because a lot of people started asking me for help. Been in the consulting business advisory arena, I guess you could say, for the last 10 years. And I have clients all over Australia and the USA that come to me for help with their business and their marketing.
Fantastic. And Steve?
That means I only have about 3 seconds because Cam talk up 30. Hey, my name's Steve Plummer. I'm a marketing strategist and copywriter. I spent the first 20 years of my career as a high school teacher, head of department and deputy principal, and I've transitioned now into the marketing world. And for the last years, I've been helping business owners with their message and helping them with their sales. And like Cam, I've got clients all over the country and internationally as well. So there we go. That was a short, quick introduction.
That was the longest 3 seconds of my life.
So, and combined, you've actually got a fantastic background in both in the education side and the consulting side, bringing it together to create some fantastic workshops for people and some awesome content, which is great. I really enjoyed last week's show where we did talk about content and crafting the right content strategy. Steve, tell us give us a quick recap of what we did last week.
Yeah, great. Okay, so really quickly, my contention is that we've gone too far down the content path and too much away from sales. Nothing happens in business till a sale is made. So it's my contention we should be stronger in our sales messages with any bit of content that we send out. And that starts with three things as well. Make sure you got your strategy right. Know what you want to achieve with each piece of content, which is based in the foundations, the principles of copywriting. Make sure you've got a really good headline. And also, it needs to be part of it. Whatever bit of content you're doing needs to be part of a story. So what's next? What do you want them to do? What's coming up next?
Great. So know what you want, have a great headline, and then what to do next. Fantastic. So that's we've just saved you 15 minutes of time. Or you can go back and find out the details by watching the last week's recording. Now, Cam, help us out. When we come to social media, you've got a very definite strategy, our second big rock. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, look, Kevin, social media is super important. And Steve and I were talking about this the other day. He came across a guru that was talking about, how many times a week should I be, or how many times a day should I be posting across social media? Should I be doing 10 posts a day, one at 8:30, one at 9:30, one at 11 o'clock on different platforms, different media? And I said to Steve, look, the challenge is that most business owners are just busy running their business. And as Steve said, even with content marketing, the focus should be on increasing revenue. The focus should be on profitability. And a lot of that activity on social media, on posting, doesn't produce profits. And let's face it, right? It's a branding exercise. And it's great if you're the Coca-Colas of the world or the McDonald's of the world and you can pay for that branding. But most SMEs, small to medium enterprises, they don't have an unlimited budget where they can spend and, pay some digital marketing agency an arm and a leg to do organic posts on social media all day long. So what Steve and I teach people is to be very selective about your social media marketing and social media advertising and understand who your buyer personas are. Who is it that you want to sell your products and services to? And then understand how do you establish a relationship with them? How to create content that's engaging, empowering, and entertaining in such a way that they'll want to watch it, they want to read it, they want to download it, and then go to the right social media platforms where they are hanging out. And it's the same rule with any marketing. Like, understand who it is you want to market to, understand what their pains and problems are, and then go where they are. Right? Don't expect them to show up just because you like a particular platform. So if you like Twitter, and you just like doing the short thing of Twitter, but your buyer personas aren't on Twitter, they're all on LinkedIn, well, it's a waste of your time. You could do 100 tweets a day. You're still not going to get the right results. And the other thing is it's not taking a scattergun approach. So it's not going, oh, look, I watch the Gary V's of the world. I watch the Grant Cardones of the world. And they're on Twitter. They're on Instagram TV. They're on Instagram. They're on Facebook. They're on Facebook Lives. They're on TikTok. They're on Snapchat. I need to be doing all of that as well. That's, big mistake. Yeah. Just pick 2, at the most 3, and specialize in those 2 or 3 platforms and master those 2 or 3 platforms. But I will say this, and the reason we say 2 or 3, and the reason Steve and I teach 2 or 3, is because platforms change the rules. I can remember when I started out in business over 20 years ago, if you posted something on your Facebook business page and you had 2,000 people follow that page, literally 1,990 people would see that post. Yeah. These days, as you post that same post, even if it's the best post on the planet, you're lucky if 5 or 10 people will see that post, right? And so you've got to ask yourself, is that the best use of your time? Creating that content, having someone create it for you, only to have 2 or 3 people or 10 people see it, right? And some of those people might not even be your target market, might not be your ideal buyer persona. So it's really important to have 2 or 3 platforms that you play on, because platforms do change the rules. Platforms do change algorithms.
And that's the thing.
Really, Steve, got anything to add to that?
Yeah, I'll let you go, Kim.
Sorry, it's a really big point that these platforms, they're businesses in their own right. So it's not their business to promote your business free of charge. Yeah. Okay, so they are constantly changing the rules to encourage you to spend some money with them. And you don't always have to spend a fortune, but by spending some, you will be reaching a much higher audience than with not. Yeah. And even with that, they keep changing the rules on the audience that are seeing those things. So it's really important to stay on top of that. And I really love your point about pick 2 or 3 platforms. I really think that's fantastic.
For example, Kevin, someone might be watching this now and they might recognize that LinkedIn is a good platform for them, right? Now, if you're going to go on LinkedIn, even in the last 2 or 3 weeks, we've seen a decrease in the amount of reach videos are getting. So, 12 months ago, everyone was talking about LinkedIn videos. Get on LinkedIn, do a video, and but even some people still have not adopted to putting videos on LinkedIn. But the thing is now, LinkedIn, whether it's the algorithms change, whether there's more videos on there and they don't want the videos as much, who knows why. But what we're seeing from a street smart point of view, from at the coalface, what we're seeing is that video views are now down. They're not getting the same reach. But here's a little tip for everyone. What is getting the reach organically on LinkedIn still is documents. So when you go to do a post, you'll see a little document icon. You can actually upload a PDF. So you can go to something like Canva, create a really cool PDF that engages people, doesn't sell people, engages people. And then on the last page of the PDF, you can have your offer or your call to action or whatever it is that you want people to do. And that PDF with a really clever post description will get as much views and engagement as what a video will, or even more now because of the way the videos are changing.
And potentially that's just to create a point of difference between the Facebook storyline and that sort of stuff. So really interesting, but fantastic point. Thanks very much for that.
I just want to jump in there with one or actually 2 quick points. Cam's quite right in, pardon me, that the platforms change. Remember, mid-late last year, Facebook went down for a few hours and it was, the world nearly caved in. Some people were ringing the police and this sort of thing. I mean, it was just craziness, right?
Emergency services for sure.
Yeah, like just silly stuff. But it does show that 1 is a dangerous number in business. So Cam's quite right. Master, 2 or 3 media. But the really important thing about that too is that you've got to have a grounding in the fundamentals, because then you can apply those fundamentals across the different media. You're not left stuck. So having the fundamentals of copywriting, of marketing is hugely important, and then you can learn the technology that goes with it. One other point is Cam mentioned branding. We're not saying branding or your brand is not important, but you've got to be careful. We see a lot of brand advertising. And what the big companies do is they want to associate their brand with a feeling. And that takes a long time and a lot of dollars to do. And a small business can't compete with that. So just to clarify that point, we're not saying brand isn't, and brand consistency isn't important, but you can't do it the way the big companies do, because they will just outspend you.
That's a good pickup, Steve. And from a small to medium business size level, SMEs, they should be getting their brand right, Steve, right? So they should have the same type of banner across LinkedIn, across Facebook, across Instagram. They should have the same tagline. They should have the same call to action, whether it's a website or book a consultation. So you can still, make your brand consistent across the different social media platforms. It's just, as Steve said, you can't play the same brand game against the Coca-Colas and the McDonald's of the world.
Well, they've got thousands of people in their marketing department, and you potentially have one person that's running your entire business. So you can't afford to spend the same amount of time, energy, and effort that they do on brands. Let's face it, Gary Vee isn't sitting in an office by himself trying to get across everything. He has armies of people that are making sure that whatever he does happens for him, and that's a huge difference between your typical small business owner. So great. So with social media, it's really important to the three key points again.
So number one, make sure your brand's consistent across your social media platforms. That's really important. Number two, pick 2 or 3 and where your buyer personas are, and stick to those 2 or 3. And number 3, when algorithms change, when rules change, be flexible enough to change your approach. So just because everyone's doing video at the moment, if you see your videos decline, hey, switch to PDFs, switch to documents, change track as quick as you can.
Fantastic. And keeping in touch with experts that can help you with that sort of thing, obviously very, very critical. So the third big rock, sales.
Yeah, just really quickly, if I can recap. Remember last week we talked about the offline, most predominantly offline, yes or yes close. So in other words, gee, Kevin, I know you're in the market, some writing stuff. Do you want a pen or for some communication stuff? Do you want to buy the pen? Yes or no? That's just the single yes or no close, right? You've got no in your mind. Hey, Kevin, would you like to, I'll get that in the camera, would you like to, in terms of communication devices, buy a pen or a mobile phone? Which one would you like? And so all of a sudden the mind switches from that yes or no to, which one it is. And so that was one of the sales strategies we spoke briefly about last week. And Cam, you're going to talk a bit this week about automating sales.
Yeah, sales automation. It might be a term that you may have heard before. It might be a term that you've never heard before, but sales automation is really having a system for selling. So what Steve gave you with a yes or yes close, that could be used in person, that could be used over the phone, it could be used in copy. That's a little system, right, that you can use verbally or in the written word. What I'm talking about is using digital marketing systems where you can create sales pipelines that allow your salespeople and yourself to sell at a faster velocity, to keep track of those leads, to keep track of those conversations. And so what Steve and I help people do is to build them sales pipelines using sales automation. And what that means is that most companies and businesses that we work with, we tend to see there's usually, and it's just a general guideline, but there's usually 6 to 12 sales stages in most businesses or companies. Now, stage 1, for instance, could be filled out a contact form on our website or downloaded some sort of free ebook. So that's a cold lead, right? The cold lead. So each of these stages is important as you build out these sales stages. After each stage, there's some sort of automation that happens. Now, that automation can be based on the contact inside the sales pipeline. The automation can deliver information to salespeople or administration staff, or that information can just be some sort of tag to segment the list or some sort of action to take in the future. So by creating a sales system, as I like to call them, and using sales automation, not only does it allow your salespeople to sell at a faster velocity, it actually tightens up the whole sales process for you. So you're not kind of, making notes in books and diaries and wondering where your leads are or doing something on a spreadsheet in Google. Now, what's really important, or probably what I see, the most important thing about sales automation is that it gives you the ability to report on where people are as it relates to them in your stages. So, for example, if you've got 6 stages, and stage 1 is the very top of the funnel, stage 2 is the warm part of the top of the funnel, stage 3 and 4 might be the middle parts of the funnel, and stage 5 and 6 might be the bottom parts of the funnel, and stage 5 is where you get paid, and stage 6 is where you ask for referrals, for instance. Now, if you have a sales pipeline with sales automation and you're tracking this progress over the period of, say, 6 months, what you'll see is you'll see some numbers. And you'll see the numbers, and they might look something like this. You'll see that there's 20 people in stage 3. There might be 50 people in stage 4. There might be 10 people in stage 5 and 5 people in stage 6. Well, those numbers tell you where to spend your marketing dollars next to get the best returns on your investment. Because you can go back through your reporting and go, oh, isn't it interesting? We get paid at stage 5, yet we have 30 people stuck at stage 4. What do we need to do next? Okay, rather than just do a generic marketing campaign, or rather than go to Facebook and spend ads on Facebook, or rather than go to Google and do more Google and more SEO work, let's spend our marketing dollars, let's spend our marketing energy on moving those people that are in stage 4 into stage 5. Yeah. And that's the beauty of having a sales system and using sales automation, is that it does the heavy lifting for you, and more importantly, it gives you the power to make better decisions for your marketing dollar.
Absolutely. So it really is about getting a maximum return on investment for your marketing dollar.
Yeah.
Situation. So fantastic. So the 3 Big Rocks program that you have, we've talked a bit about that, and I'm quite excited about coming along in a few weeks' time for that. I think it's just 2 weeks away. It's all around Business Reinvented, is the show that you've got, the workshop that you've got. That's just a 3-hour workshop?
Yeah, live in-person workshop where we're going to hold people's hand and unpack social media, content marketing and sales strategies. And Steve, as we've said before, it really covers the whole attract, nurture and convert part of a business.
Yeah, that's right. And they're the 3 things that you need to get right. That system, and you need to have assets in place, and marketing assets online and offline, to plug in to make that system of those 3 steps robust.
Absolutely. If people are interested in coming along, when are you holding the 3 Big Rocks workshops?
So we've got workshops located at the Sunshine Coast in Brisbane at the moment. However, people can go to businessreinvented.com.au. That's businessreinvented.com.au, and you'll see the workshop options there for you. And you can pick a workshop and go from there. We'd love to see you there. As you can guess by watching the training today, Steve and I just love helping people. Steve's a natural teacher. I come from a sports coaching background. It's teaching and coaching. It's in our DNA. It's what we do better than anybody.
It's absolutely fantastic. As I said, I am really excited. I'm going along to the Brisbane event, which is on the 18th of March.
Very good.
And up the Sunshine Coast is the day after, on the 19th. Please put some comments below if you're interested in coming along, but you can't make one of these 2 events. Please let Steve and Cam know so that they can look for when they can run additional shows or additional events, so that we can fit that in, make sure that they are able to help you. There is a small cost associated with this to cover the venue and some refreshments, but it's going to be exceptional value for money. So Thanks very much, guys. Thanks for coming along. I look forward to finding out more at the Business Reinvented workshop. And I look forward to seeing you guys actually live there, rather than just talking to you through a computer screen.
Yeah, it'll be good. Looking forward to it too, Kevin.
Excellent.
Thanks, everyone. Appreciate your time. Thank you.
Catch you later. Bye.
Bye-bye.